Welcome to the Robotics Through Science Fiction podcast. I'm Dr. Robin Murphy, and we have 10 recommendations for people who like video games, for video gamers that you're looking to give gifts to, and especially to give gifts to those video gamers who you'd like to encourage to read, or maybe even just touch a book. Yeah, sure, the average video gamer is 34 years old, but the most active group is boys under 18, and that's a group famously resistant to reading. So here's our top 10 recommendation of books that have robots, plus enough world building to rival Halo or Doom, and has lots of action or puzzles to solve. And what's even cooler is that you can cleverly use the topics links to work in some STEM talking points by asking them things like, oh, you've read that book. Do you think it'd be really easy to reprogram cars to hit pedestrians instead of programming them? How would you fool a security drone? Or do you think that robots should have the same rights as animals? On the other hand, you may want to read the books too. The first 6 books on the list are ones that I routinely recommend to general audiences, and people tell me how much they love them. First up is Heads On. Head On, it's a rugby-like game in the book called Hilketa that's played with real robots. It's the best multiplayer game that never was. And in the game, paralyzed people who are doing the teleoperation have an advantage. Very cool. FYI, there's a PG-13 discussion of telesex using robots in there, so use your judgment. Not only is it a great detective novel, it's a thought-provoking book looking at being disabled and functioning in an enabled world, as Chris, the FBI agent, is paralyzed and he has to work through telepresence robots. Plus, we don't know if the protagonist is male or female. Audible has 2 different recordings, one by a man and one by a woman, so you can choose. If you go with an audiobook, the Will Wheaton narration is awesome, and Will is a legend in the video game world. Lock-In is the first in this series, but it's more of a noir detective novel, like Altered States, but much less gruesome. Much less. Head On is good for teachable moments about telepresence. Second, Robopocalypse. So did your video gamer love World War Z and actually read the book? Well, they'll love Robopocalypse even more, and it's largely accurate about robots. It uses that same Studs Terkel oral history structure as World War Z to give us lots of characters and viewpoints as the robots have their uprising, being led by the inevitable evil AI that has escaped control of its industrial military complex handlers. Great story, and it's really good for teachable moments about autonomy. Number 3, The Murderbot Diaries. Delightfully snarky point of view of a security robot trying to save clueless scientists from aliens like corpos and creatures. The series is just fantastic, and it's best read in order so that you get the delicious in-jokes as Murderbot deals with his human and AI companions. Murderbot occasionally says the F word to itself, accurately summing up the situation, but it's not a Samuel L. Jackson constant stream of profanity. The Murderbot Diaries are good for teachable moments about software engineering and whether intelligent systems would need a governor to keep them in line. Number 4, The Electric State. This is a graphic novel, but it's sort of a graphic novel the way that Hannah Gadsby is a comedian. Whoa, it transcends the genre. Neither the full-page illustrations nor the accompanying text tell the whole story of the angry teenage girl and her robot trying to escape the end of the world. But like an escape room, you have to put the text and the images together to figure out what's really going on. Totally redefines graphic novel. Yeah, be sure you give this one as a book, not an ebook. It's a graphic novel, and leave it on the coffee table as a lure to, get them out of their room, and also it'll give you time to sneak in some time poring over the amazing illustrations and subtle writing. Good for teachable moments about autonomy. Similar book by the same author is number 5, Tales from the Loop. There are 2 graphic novels in this series, And they are very different than the whole emo Amazon series called Tales of the Loop. The books are much more suited to a teenage audience who love world building and a surprising twist, and less emo stuff. You know, you may be thinking, oh, it's a book and a streaming series. Let's just watch the series together. Maybe not. The Amazon series is it's interesting, but it's slow and pensive and profoundly sad. Plus, it's told with that whole Christopher Nolan sequences of event out of order style that finally comes together, but at the very end. Basically, it's an art film, and maybe putting your shooting up type to sleep. Play it safe, buy the book. And Tales from the Loop is great for teachable moments about autonomy. Kill Decision. Number 6, my favorite scarily realistic description of killer drones. And there's a cool spec ops guy who has 2 ravens with a call out to Norse mythology. What's there not to like? And of course, it's hard not to like Daniel Suarez, the author, who's taken over Michael Crichton's niche of techno thrillers. He's a bit darker than Crichton, but has the same scientific plausibility. And Kill Decision's great for teachable moments about swarms, which are officially called multi-robot systems. The Robots of Gotham, number 7. It's sort of game-lit without being based on a video game. Excellent discussion of how computer vision and machine learning really works. It gets really high points for me on its accuracy, and I love how the protagonist confuses the vision system of the security drones. I didn't care for the plot organization with the video game, like, oh, we leave the hotel, get past the robots, retrieve the next important MacGuffin organization, then go back and repeat. But lots of people in the video game demographic love the book exactly for that reason. So, good book, good for teachable moments about computer vision and machine learning. Number 8, the Andromeda Evolution. Now this helps if they've seen or read the original Andromeda Strain movie or book, but it can be read as a standalone. It's a commissioned sequel by the Michael Crichton family, and it's a very worthy addition. Ignore the negative reviews that pop up when you pull this up, because most of them boil down to, how dare the Michael Crichton family do this? And the technology and plot are great, but the characters are flat. Oh yeah, right. Name a Michael Crichton novel where the characters weren't flat. Name one. I'm looking for it. Right. So great book, good for teachable moments about drones and teleoperation. Number 9, Machine Hood. A pro-robots right group is terrorizing the world. Very nice discussion of ethics amid a lot of action. So there's no boring pedantic lectures in this one, but it gets the point across. The book's also fun because it's multicultural and there are strong women characters. So the action isn't manly men shooting things. We're getting Tilda Swinton's Ancient One from Doctor Strange combat a person of color, G.I. Jane. You know, go team. Good for teachable moments about robot ethics. Number 10, The Themis Files. An erstwhile girl finds an alien Pacific Rim type of robot and learns to use it to fight evil giant piloted mecha invaders, are there any other kind, while shadowy quasi-governmental figures try to uncover its origins. The series starts out great, but I thought it went rapidly downhill, both technological plausibility in the characters, but the first novel, Sleeping Giant, is a lot of fun, and it's good for teachable moments about exoskeletons. I have never had anybody not love Head On, Robopocalypse, or the Murderbot Diaries series. So they're just really strong recommendations. And if your video gamer has not read The Electric State or Tales from the Loop, holy cow, you will earn serious cool points for introducing them to him. These graphic novels are half illustration, half text, and you will just have to spend so many enjoyable and thought-provoking hours connecting the dots for the mind-blowing plots. your video gamer's reading will jump a few levels by the time they're done. Two of the recommended books, Robopocalypse and the Andromeda Evolution, are by Daniel H. Wilson, one of the best hard sci-fi writers, which is not surprising because he has a PhD in robotics. Generally, anything by Wilson is great. Your reader, after reading Head On, may get addicted to John Scalzi because pretty much everyone does. If so, Old Man's War series is probably a good series for them to get into, sort of a modern-day version of Robert Heinlein's Starship Troopers, which is a terrific book. Horrible, horrible movie. We don't want to talk about the movie. The Famous Files start out strong, peters out, but the Murderbot Diaries just gets better with each new book or novella. So that's it for now. And remember, if you're looking for books with that STEM science behind the cool stories, don't forget about my two books, Robotics Through Science Fiction, Artificial Intelligence Explained Through 6 Classic Robot Short Stories, and Learn AI and Human-Robot Interaction through Asimov's iRobot Stories.